Well, welcome back to this glorious homestead. Shane here. I'm up here at the property, and there's several things that I'd like to do today. I'd like to jump on that skid loader and move some dirt around and do different projects, but I think what I'm going to do is finish the porch rails. The porch rails are kind of unique. We looked at those black wire rails, but they were so expensive, and I got a span. I think my shortest distance I've got to span is right at 9 feet. No, right under 8 feet. Right under 8 feet. And the largest span is about 11 feet. Those metal panels that you buy from Lowe's and Home Depot and the home stores, they're pretty expensive. They're like 80, 90, about $100 a panel, some of them. And I bought all of them for, I think it was $300. And I bought some black spray paint. So I'm gonna try to paint those black and use them for my porch rails. So this is what I'm gonna work on today. I've got to get my miter box and my tools out. There's a few tools I'll need. And it's going to take a little while to get set up, but I think that's what we're going to do today. So just bear with me while I get my tools set up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and lay out one rail and then duplicate it 3 times. And hopefully it'll go a little quicker. By code, you're supposed to be 36 inches tall on residential, 42 for commercial. So I'll lay out 36 tall, and you got to have 4-inch minimums on the openings between the rail or between the guides or whatever. That's why those rails are so expensive, is you got to have 4-inch openings. And those are 4-inch openings on those. So I think I'll lay them out. I've got to take my skill saw and cut a channel down the middle of that 4x4 post, and then have another 4x4 post going up each side, and then a 2x6 on top. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. Yeah, that should work out. So basically, I'm cutting a channel for the panels to sit down in. And I was looking at the panels at Menards. I think they were $90, and they had metal channels to go with them to screw on top of this, which would have been good, but we're going to do it this way. It's still not as hard as some rails that I put in, you know, spindles and different stuff. Just got to get in there and break it loose. Pry it out. $28.25. Cutting the side pieces out, and then I've got to notch this, and the panel will fit down between them, between the bottom one and the sides, and then I'll cut some strips to go at the top.
Okay. 28.25.
28.25. Measure twice, cut once. Now I've got to cut channels in these two. Like I did with that bottom one. And then we'll cut a panel to go between there.
So the channel is for
the panel.
for the cattle panel that you're going to put in.
Yeah.
And you're going to cut a channel in those two right there.
Yeah.
Okay. and your level on here.
There it is.
Nice. Good job. Why is some wood heavier than others? Because it's
Because
wet.
it's wet. Well, that's going to be all for today, folks. I appreciate y'all coming along. Like, subscribe, and comment. And I appreciate y'all's support. Have a great day.